Hello, good morning again. I'm here still at Regent for the course PMIN 501, and that's a Christian leadership course. The professor is Dr. Harris, and I'm here interviewing my friend here today. He's a wonderful official here at Regent University, and I would like to know what he thinks. Sir, can you introduce yourself to us if you don't mind? You don't have to use your name, just be free.
My name is Harold, and I'm one of the librarians at Regent University.
Okay, Mr. Harold. So the topic here today is from the book written by Gabe Lyons. I know you probably haven't had time to read it, but I'm going to summarize. He's talking about the next Christians. In summary, in his view, he sees culture as a tool that Christianity could use to bridge the gap between the next generation and Christianity. And so, but then he recognizes the pervading cultures around us, and the question is, how do we, as Christians, penetrate cultures to witness without really tearing the cultures down or presenting a counterculture and thereby creating this culture war going on around us? So what do you think about the situation? For instance, to start with, do you perceive there's culture war going on?
It certainly seems that way, that the increasing in the an animosity between people of faith, people who believe that God has given us laws for our own benefit.
Okay.
And those who go back, who believe that these are antiquated and even harmful ideas.
Okay.
And that these new Enlightenment ideas are superior and are the way to go to build a happier, more just society.
Okay. Okay, great. And so in your view, I believe you're a Christian, right?
Yes, I am.
Okay. In your view, there are some things, of course, you would like to see sustained in Christianity, but at the same time, you want to see Christianity reach out to the other side. And so what do you think we should be doing to reach the other side? The other side, I mean the other culture we see around, maybe the culture of fashion, the culture of music, the culture of, like you just mentioned, the Enlightenment, and those who don't really want to come to church, the church cultures.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think? How do we bridge those gaps?
Well, I think that I'm sure there is There certainly is a role for going and talking to people, but in general, I think that the most effective way for making converts from people who do not believe in God, people who have rejected God, is by our own example, by our behavior. And because and I think more converts are won by the good behavior and example of Christians than by what we think is outreach in other words, like evangelization is the duty of every Christian, and that is in our behavior, and to live, and that starts with us, and to the life of prayer, because we cannot be a good example, or we cannot behave well. We cannot behave properly to be an example, to be a light unto the world, without a life of prayer. And that's where I think, and each Christian who takes it upon himself to live a life of prayer becomes a light unto the world. A great the great famous Russian saint, Seraphim of Sarov,
Okay.
told people who asked this very question about what are we going to do about people not going to church and not living according to God's law, and his advice was to save your soul, and thousands will be saved around you.
Wow, that is so profound. Wow, thanks for sharing that. And also, do you have kids?
Yes, I do.
Good. Younger kids or teenagers?
Two in college and two young. I have one in elementary school, one in middle school.
Wow, that's amazing. You're a blessed man. So that actually dovetails into some of this discussion is, okay, so what do you think for that new generation? Of course, they think differently from you or than you.
Yes, I do.
Their fashion is different. Their likes and dislikes are different. I don't know if they gravitate to church as easily as you did when you were younger. So what's your game plan? What do you tell the Christian parents? How do we attract these young ones to church? Make it so fun for them to come to church?
Well, I think even what I said about the larger society applies even more strongly and directly to family life.
Okay.
And if parents are, as all parents know, children have very sensitive radars for hypocrisy. And if the parents, if Christian parents are struggling in spite of all obstacles to live a Christian life,
Okay.
to include prayer, to be kind and forgiving to people, their children will pick up on that,
Okay.
and they will will be naturally will gravitate towards that.
Okay.
If, on the other hand, parents say that they are Christians and do not pray, are condemning, are condemning of others, unwilling to forgive their debtors, as they say, the children who are always will pick up on that, and they will say, and they will think to themselves, this is just a bunch of hypocrisy.
And they'll be repulsed by the message of the church.
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much. Let me throw the last one here. I know you're a busy man. Thank you for your patience and for sharing these deep scholarly views. And so, one of the authors also I'm considering we are exploring this semester makes an argument that actually is Lance Wallner and Bill Johnson. They're giving ideas how Christians can invade. That's the word they use. That's the caption of their book, is Invading Babylon. They say Christianity should invade these pillars of society, the media, like Hollywood, the business culture, the government, and all that. Do you think that Christianity should strategically, dominate these spheres of life, or should we be exclusively divorced from?
God has given everybody. God gives everybody gifts and talents and abilities, and we honor God by making the most of those gifts that He's given us. And there are Christians who have gifts in the arts and should pursue those arts in film or theater, and those who have gifts in business and finance should by all means make the most of the gifts that God has given them. And again, by their own faith and their life of holiness, which Christians are called to, they will come in contact, and they will and that's where true evangelizing will take place.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you so much. That's so eye-opening. So we can actually reach out to these spheres of life as a witness tool. Okay, Thank you so much, sir. Okay, the last question here is, what will be your last message? I mean, assuming that this is our last day on earth, and we are advising the church, and the church is standing before you, I mean, all denominations, and you just want to give a message that will help the church to sustain itself for the next 50, 100 years. What are the key factors you would like the church to focus on as ways to witness to the world in order to sustain Christianity in the long haul?
Mm-hmm. Building and reaching out and communicating the beauty of Christian life, a life of prayer and study of the scriptures and charity, which means includes acts of kindness, and that if Christians commit themselves to this life, they will be people, more hundreds, thousands more people than they think will say that this is this is not a straitjacket on my lifestyle. This is not something negative keeping me doing all the fun things that I want to do. Mm-hmm. But the Christian life is a joyful way of life. It comes with more joy and more happiness than the secular life, which just holds that pleasure and the avoidance of pain are the greatest goods in the world.
Wow, that is a wonderful way to end this interview. Thank you so much, sir, for your contribution and for your time. You're highly appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you for talking to me.
You're welcome, sir. Thank you.